Let's get in Mr. Gavaskar into the program. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pretty seesaw day of play in Dharamsala today. If you did have to give an edge to one of the two teams, who would that be and why?
Well, I think Australia certainly hold the upper end because they've taken the 6 major wickets. Sure, I think Jadeja can hit the ball. Saha got 100 in the previous game, but Australia have the second new ball in their hands and just about 3 or 4 overs old. So tomorrow morning it's going to be very, very difficult because there is a little bit of carry in this surface. The ball's thudding into the wicketkeeper's gloves, particularly when Pat Cummins is letting it rip. And they're getting a little bit of movement. So I think India will find it hard to get close to the Australian total. I'm hoping that they get very close to the Australian total or even past it, because that will be a big psychological plus.
Okay, today though some of our batsmen did manage to get starts and they weren't able to convert it later on. But before we get on to that, I wanted to talk a little bit about Karun Nair, who did not make it to double digits even today. Pretty forgettable series for Nair so far. Is this a wake-up call of sorts for him, especially if he doesn't do well with the bat even in the second innings?
Yes, I think so. I think it'll be tough for him because I think, look, at the end of the day, while the team management, the selection committee want you to do well in your major skill, which is batting, they're also going to look at the fielding aspect.
Right.
And I think the fielding aspect, he's been a bit of a letdown as far as international cricket is concerned. And therefore, I think unless he gets a big score in the second innings, his place could be in jeopardy. There are enough people waiting in the wings, and therefore, you have to have 2 aspects of the game right on top. Batting, bowling, bowling, fielding, and unfortunately with the fielding not being his strength, at least so far, on the evidence of what we've seen in the series so far, if he doesn't score runs in the second innings, I think he's going to be struggling.
Okay, so Karun Nair failing with the bat yet again, but there were others who did well, did not go on to make big scores, like KL Rahul, who of course who's had a great series with 550s. Let's listen into what Rahul said about not being able to convert those scores into big scores.
A little disappointed that I haven't been able to convert those starts and get big runs for my team. As an opening batsman, I think it's my responsibility to spend as much time in the middle as I can and try and get big scores in the first innings, so we don't have to bat in the second innings. But hopefully one more good knock. Second innings might be the time, if the opportunity is given, might be the knock I've been waiting for the whole series.
All right, KL Rahul there clearly disappointed about not being able to go beyond the number of runs that he managed to. What do you think is happening with him, sir? And not just him, also the other batsmen. Do you think during the second session, India's batsmen sort of did not get it right by going on the defensive on Nathan Lyon, who then came back to be as great as he was in the third session and going on to take on 4 wickets?
Well, I think the problem with KL Rahul is immediately after a half century, he seems to lose his focus and his concentration for a few deliveries, for a few minutes. I think the best thing at that particular point of time, when your concentration not there, look, when you get to a 50, it's a moment to savor. You're enjoying it. You're enjoying the the applause. You're sort of raising your bat and doffing your helmet to the dressing room. So that takes away from just that focus for the next few minutes. Therefore, it's more, I think it's clever if you get to the non-strikers end. You can't really get out of the non-strikers end for a while. And by that, I mean take singles, get to the non-strikers end till you get your focus back. Because you'll have a look at the history of the game. A lot of people get out immediately after 50s. A lot of people get out immediately after 100s. Because the applause, everything just stays in your mind just that little bit longer. But I want Rahul to stop looking at the bowler. The little sort of thing he had with Pat Cummins, the ball before he got out, was completely unnecessary. The only way you show a bowler anything is at the scoreboard. At the end of the day, when you get 100 plus, that's the best way to talk to a bowler. The bowler is saying something to you, you are trying to look back at him. What are you trying to prove? Because the bowler has got 6 deliveries. You can hit him for 5 sixes. The 6th delivery gets you out. You as a batsman have just 1 mistake. You make that 1 mistake and you're back in the pavilion. That's exactly what happened with the next ball, because he tried to smash the ball because he just had the previous ball. He had that. Now he's young, but I think unless he learns to turn his back on the bowler, walk away, so that he is not disturbed by anything that is said to him, I think he's going to keep getting out, and he's going to be a target for everybody to provoke him into playing the wrong kind of shot. So I think that's what he's got to do. That's what he's got to learn. He's got years of international cricket ahead of him, and that will help him to get from the 50s and 60s to 100s.
Right. Pat Cummins clearly took the verbal route today, and it worked very well. Virat, of course, isn't playing this test match. Do you think that is somewhat weighing the Indians down, even though with the bat he hasn't done so well in this series?
No, I don't think it is, because in the Ranchi game, without his contribution, India scored 600 plus.
Right.
It's just that the Australians have bowled really well today. They never allowed the Indians to get away, get going. They froze the runs, virtually froze the runs in the first session. And in the second session, when Rahul broke free and got some runs, and then with Pujara, he was looking for the ones and twos, that was the only time that the bowlers seemed as if they had no idea. But the moment Lyon came on and started to get the ball to grip and turn, the Indian batsmen were in trouble. What they could have done was towards the, just before the tea interval, they could have maybe used their feet a little bit more to get to Lyon, to work him for once. You don't have to hit him for boundaries. Right. There was a long on there. And you could have taken the ones and twos, rotated the strike, kept the scoreboard moving. But by just playing dead bat, I think they allowed the Australians to be on top.